now, we, as a national society, how can we address...
What do you people at the Red Cross do now that there's no war?
Pourquoi, puisqu'on a des réponses qui sont valables dans les pays du Nord, pourquoi ces réponses?
Porque la Cruz Roja es eso, es una cruz.
The crucial issue is, how do we do this? I have not prepared a speech because I think it is important for you to understand and for me to speak from my heart. This is the strategy for the Red Cross, for the global organization, for the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society for the next 10 years. It's very simple. It told us what we did wrong. What we did wrong was we did too much. We missed some opportunities to develop our volunteers, to look after our staff, to better learn to get money, and to make people rely on themselves better. So I'm very proud, I'm very happy to do this here in Osire and not at the Vintu Country Club, because without you, we could not do our work. The strategy concerns us all, wherever we might be in the four corners of this world. Before we get into the details, let's go back in time.
The 1990s, a time of profound change. Sometimes for the better, often for the worse. Between hope and fear, the conception of life itself is revolutionized by new technologies. Natural and economic disasters cannot stop the formidable rise in power of information technology. And it's hard luck for those who don't have access to this new El Dorado.
The vulnerable are becoming more vulnerable, posing even greater challenges to our work. In order to be more effective and have a greater impact, we conducted a vast evaluation. We listened to our volunteers, staff, members, leaders, partners, governments, and groups of experts. The Strategic Planning Commission worked for more than 2 years to analyze all the information gathered, and this is the result. Strategy 2010 will guide our work over the next 10 years. The strategy will enable us to improve our work
by identifying and implementing appropriate programs,
promoviendo valores humanitarios,
بزيادة الوعي بالموضوعات التي تؤثر على المستضعفين في كل مكان,
ayudando a las comunidades a prepararse para los desastres,
en assurant la promotion des soins et de l'assistance au niveau communautaire,
بتشغيل المتطوعين من كل الأعمار والخلفيات.
All the valuable information you gave us is the heart of the strategy. Strategy 2010 belongs to all of us, and we are the ones to make it work.
We have identified 4 core areas on which we should focus our activities. They are all interdependent. Major strategic directions have been identified to guide us. We need to develop more responsive and focused programs. We need to mobilize all our resources and raise awareness about issues that affect vulnerable people. And we need to take full advantage of our unique global network.
So much for the theory. How do we now turn our strategy into reality?
I believe that when faced with terrible situations, we are tempted to do everything. But that is not possible.
Thousands of Papua New Guineans lost their shelter and livelihood in the 1998 tidal wave.
They are distributing fishing equipment and access addresses and so on to the fishermen so that they can reconstruct their lives
I think the Namibia Red Cross Society can make their programs more focused by catering more to the grassroots level.
In the past, we paid more attention to the physical situation of disaster victims, but we noticed we should pay more attention to their psychological condition. Because disaster may have psychological implications on families and communities, we are now putting more emphasis on psychological relief.
I think there are certain activities that we could leave sometimes with our stakeholders. We could probably still assist or advise, but I think if one focuses on one thing and one program, then it's more likely you would get better results.
Sometimes we try to be all things to all people, if you like. We try to do too much, and we really need now to focus in on set priorities, focus in on those priorities, and try to do fewer things well.
Baby, what's that? It's a condom. Hey, baby, I don't want to see that. Put it away. No, please don't. Hey, condom. I want it on your flesh on flesh. Listen, Tom, without a condom, you better forget it because I want to be safe. Hey, then give it to me. No, please. Give it to me. Hey,
the people are understanding the puppets more than a person can come to talk with him or she.
Radio allows us to interact with the community. People listen to us and get to know us in a different way than simply through our activities.
We have agreements with some newspapers for free space. We can put in them whatever we want to share with the public. We propose that meetings should be organized between volunteers and people to create, promote, and enhance peace and friendly relations among people.
Gift of the Wind left Port-Camargue in early March 2000. 100 young people from different countries and social backgrounds are working in teams to help sail her. Each is an ambassador for tolerance and solidarity for all the Mediterranean countries.
Thanks to the major press coverage it's getting, this message of peace and tolerance will go beyond the Red Cross movement and reach people everywhere.
Because in this country, we make an incredible effort to disseminate the fundamental principles, the international humanitarian law, the doctrine of, and all, especially the humanity.
We can sound the alarm. We are in the field. We can say, watch out, it's unacceptable. This does not contradict our values of neutrality or impartiality. On the contrary, we are witnesses. This is what we see. Watch out, it's unacceptable. We must do something.
The Himbas, a nomadic people in northwest Namibia, traditionally take their herds from one water hole to another. A basic sanitation program involves the Himbas in the construction and maintenance of covered wells.
In the long run, it creates a sense of ownership within them because they are all participated throughout as from step one.
The Red Cross is not just coming in to do it. They are also trying to empower the people that they are doing that for.
I believe that when I go back in my country, I will use the same experience also to help other people, maybe my community or other communities.
We have over 5,000 first aid workers within our national society. We hope to have a relief and first aid worker in every family.
You need to think in the way of developer, not reliever. This is our mandate. It's not to have the tools in our hands, to have the skills in our hands, in our mind. We need to open the Red Cross to put all our experience, skills, and tools in the hands of the people.
In many ways, we are not talking only about money, but you need people, you need technology, you need some infrastructure.
Fortunately, we owned a piece of land, and we went into partnership with a local developer to put on a big shopping center. The shopping center money we get monthly feeds into our core costs.
There's a globalization of humanitarian work with the Red Cross and economic globalization. It may be interesting for companies to say, let's become partners with someone worldwide like us.
Alors France Télécom a été de suite partenaire. France Telecom became a Red Cross partner for this operation. Et a mis à disposition de la Croix-Rouge. And made its national network available to the Red Cross, with special lines for Kosovo. Construit des faisceaux spécifiques au Kosovo.
Et puis le résultat, il est.
As a result, between 140 and 150 million francs in kind were donated by the French people.
As one family, one international movement, the expertise that our brothers and sisters across the border are experiencing, especially with refugees influx from DRC to Zambia, we could make use of the same skills when we bring them over to Namibia.
In the competitive environment we are and our national societies are operating in, it is critically important for them to adapt to this environment, to remain flexible, and therefore to adjust their resources, not only the financial resources indeed, but also, and most importantly, the human resources.
A lot of my friends from school, I always tell them, no, the Red Cross it's a lot of fun. We do this and we do that.
We all feel wanted, and I really feel wanted at the Red Cross. The last 4 years, they really need me.
I'd like to drive humanitarian convoys, lorries, and bring food and comfort.
Volunteers is the heart of any society. On volunteers, most of the work is done. And it represents also something very important for the country, because it's the willingness of the people to participate in the solutions of the problems that we have.
I'm so proud of our youth, and my message to the young people is I think you must also be proud to see how many youth workers we've got. Join the Red Cross, do well, have a future.
It is a little difficult to work with people with different cultures, especially. But as human beings, we are adapted to learn from our former experiences and our new experiences.
We as humans should learn from one another.
Teaching, training, exchanging, sharing with the national societies what we have at Colombian Red Cross, what we have as a region, to be able to strengthen our capacities.
We work with the International Committee of the Red Cross and the International Federation. It's like a partnership.
Violence is no way to live. The French Red Cross is cooperating with 5 other organizations to provoke discussion about violence in the city.
When 6 major associations rally around one single topic, something quite uncommon, both public opinion and the public authorities take note, and the impact of your message gains strength. I'm personally convinced that each national society is aware that it is a link in an international chain. This chain should be strengthened. It's a chain of solidarity and cooperation.
We are a truly global network. We have a unique mandate and a huge responsibility to work in partnership with vulnerable people. We've done a great deal in the past, but let's not be complacent.
We can no longer afford not to be professional. Charity and goodwill aren't enough. Charity is necessary and so is goodwill, but we must come up with answers.
If we keep the Red Cross like a museum, like a non-moving, non-changing movement, then we are going to have problems and we are not going to be anything.
Too many documents end up on dusty shelves. This should not happen to this one.
Strategy 2010 means to me that it is a key to open doors and ways to make the help more easier and effective to our needy people.
Commitment. The strategy will be a commitment to all of us.
The Strategy 2010 is a road that shows us the goal, the final of the road also. But we need to put lights, pave the road, and of course to establish the rules in order to use in very good ways this road.
Strategy 2010 is the way we have chosen to do this. We must face the challenges that lie ahead over the next 10 years. Let's make it work to improve the lives
of the vulnerable people
by mobilizing
the power of humanity.
We have all seen this. We know we can make the strategy work. We are all over the world in a unique global network. We don't go in. We don't go out. We are there